ultimate football fan is now here.
All the biggest fan channels in one place.
Next night stand.
100% Chelsea.
Arsenal Fan TV.
All about the fans.
Why is he on the fucking pitch? What for what?
Exclusive content only here.
Hello boys and girls and welcome to
The UFF Daily Football Show.
The #1 source, everything going on in the football world, daily.
UFF, do what you have to do.
Hello and welcome to FanPark Live's Head to Head. We're going to be debating a very interesting topic. People seem to think that it's not that close. I seem to think that it is really close. We're going to be talking about David Villa, and did I get that right?
David Villa.
David Villa.
Give it a bit more oomph.
Oomph. David Villa.
There we go.
Versus Thomas Müller. I don't know if that...
I'm a German, innit?
All right, cool. But yeah, as I say, some people seem to think that this is a very easy debate, no-brainer. I'm not going to tell you which side they think it is a no-brainer for. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yes, we are going to be doing the show a little bit differently tonight. And that's because I'm going to be judging both Neeks and Chris on 6 separate criteria and scoring them on these criteria, and I'll tell you what they are just so you can prepare. We're going to talk about skills, the skill set of both of these players, the goals that they've scored, set pieces or set piece ability, how much of a team player they are, their big moments, and their legend. Yeah, you got that?
Yeah,
cool. Guys, we also want your contributions, so make sure you call us 0203 606 0315. Make sure you comment on the UFF YouTube page as well, and all the various different platforms that you'll be watching this on. We definitely do have some fan videos from influencers this time round, so we're going to be watching those as well. But I'm going to let whoever... Do we have a coin to flip? No, we don't, so I'm just going to have to pick. Who wants to go first?
I don't got a coin.
He's got a coin.
You got a coin? I got the bag, bro. Payday.
All right.
Got a pound coin. Nice.
Okay.
Can we check if both heads are... no, it sounds fishy goes down in this.
Don't worry. It's legit. It's legit. All right. So, what? Heads, you go first. Tails, you go first.
Let's go.
Tails.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so give me the first category. Like,
We've got to talk about skills.
I don't need to say much. If you think Müller is skillful point blank, then that's an issue. And don't get me wrong, like, obviously I'm arguing against Müller, but this is more about David Villa, and I think Müller's a great player. Skillful is not what he's at. I don't think you've ever seen him perform any... When I tell you, like, any skill, I'm talking, like, two-star skills.
Wow.
Like, that's just not his game.
What's a 2-star skill?
Like, maybe just, like, maybe a young pirouette, maybe. But even now I'm thinking, like, that's maybe 3 stars.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
Maybe like a little cut, like maybe a little, you know, them ones like a little
body feint.
Müller, like that's not Müller, but like with Villa, I don't think Villa was like crazy skillful either, but he could go past the play, he could take a player on.
Okay.
He had enough dribbling ability where whether he be playing up front or whether he play on the left for Barcelona and for Spain at times, he could do something one-on-one with players that he was up against. And I just don't. It isn't necessarily a knock against Müller. I just don't think that's in Müller's game.
Okay.
As opposed to Villa had a little bit more about him.
All right. Talk to me about Thomas Müller and his skill set.
Well, I'm a disagree.
Okay.
In part. Now, yeah, there's one thing about, you know, having flair. Cause I'm talking about when you say skills, in terms of, you know, pirouette or a Rabona or something like that. That's, for me, that's a flair. But a skill, for me, the skill set is about what ability, technique, what things he brings on the pitch.
Okay.
Now, they've coined a position for Müller. You know, you're French. You know the Makelele position. I don't need to explain that to you. And the viewers know what they named a position after Makelele. They've named a position after Thomas Müller.
And what is that position?
Räumdeuter.
Imagine.
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Space interpreter.
Wow.
That's a skill.
Wow.
He finds where he needs to be in the box at any one time. He doesn't need to be a player because he makes sure he's not near the player. He doesn't need to go and get into one-on-ones because his one-on-one is him and the goal. To find space in the box, you speak to any, or you hear any legendary striker talk about scoring goals, and finding space, not moving sometimes, is the biggest skill. And Müller does that probably probably better than anyone other than Ronaldo and Messi in the game today in terms of finding space. For me, that skill, and we're talking about 2 strikers. For me, that skill.
Can I respond to that? So if we're moving away from like skills and talking about skills, so the actual definition of skill is the application of technique when it's opposed. That's like in football terms, that's the actual word for it, right? So if we're talking about technique then, so let's move away from dribbling and flair. Essentially with the ball, there's 3 things. Because for me, you have to be, to be skillful at something requires you to have the ball. In terms of positioning, which for me is probably an underrated part of the game. That I'm not going to say that's a lesser thing, but what I will say is that it's harder to be proficient with the football. That's like the best players ever.
Right. At this point, I want to bring up some stats because let's bring up the one that has dribble success rate, dribbles completed, all of that stuff as well.
One that generally is different to David Villa. For Germany, he plays a lot out on the right, so he's obviously going to be attempting those dribbles more. But what it does show is that when he has to attempt it, he's got that ability. All right,
I'm going to give this round to Neeks just
for
because
being more skillful.
Okay, listen,
it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to give this round to Neeks because I think it's an underrated skill that he has. I think Thomas Müller is actually a decent dribbler.
I don't mind you giving him that round, but what I will say is this, right? If you give both of them the ball, David Villa is infinitely more capable of doing things with that ball, whether it be...
Where on the pitch? Because maybe inside the 18-yard box, possibly. No. But if we're talking about...
We've seen him play out on the left.
But we've
seen him play...
All right, guys.
No.
Guys,
you're cutting me, man.
Let's keep it peaceful. We're going to move on.
I don't mind
goals. We're going to talk about goals now. So you had the first goal last round. Take it away. Thomas Müller's goals, because I feel like there's not much to say for you on this one.
The reality is, Müller's goal scoring record, and he is not an out-and-out striker. Like, he can play striker, and he's done it before. More so for Bayern Munich than he does for Germany, because obviously Miroslav Klose was the main striker. I think even Mario Gomez was there, was that a Bayern Munich. But goals... He's got his goal to game ratio. He got a goal every 2.5 games for Bayern Munich. A goal every 2.5 games for Germany. 38 in 90 appearances at international level. 5 in his first World Cup. He made his debut in 2010 for Germany at 21 years old. Yeah, he was born 1989. 21 years old, and he scored 5 goals in the first World Cup. Golden Boot winner, best young player in the tournament. 4 years later, done it again. 5 goals in the World Cup. Now, obviously, we've got a World Cup coming up now, but he's already closing in on the World Cup leading goal scorers. Klose at 16, Ronaldo at 15, Gerd Müller at 14, Pele at 12. If he carries on the trend of 5-5-5, he's going to go past Ronaldo in this World Cup at 28 years old.
As a goal scorer, I feel so confident in David Villa that I'm not even going to talk about Barcelona and Spain days past 2009.
Wait, why are you not going to speak about Barcelona?
Because
it doesn't back up.
No. I don't need to speak about Barcelona. It's not even that. It's just the fact that I'm not going to compare someone who's 28 at the moment. I'm going to compare him to David Villa at 28 up until he was 28, and he was still 28 at Valencia. He moved to Barcelona in 2010. You have to also think about the league that he's playing in. And Bundesliga is a strong league, but he's been playing in the Bayern Munich league that's been dominant outside of maybe 2 years, possibly 3, has been dominant since 2009, which is when he broke through. Bayern Munich have been the mainstay. And it's not easy to play for Bayern Munich. I'm not going to say that.
And under so many
however, what I will say is, scoring the amount of goals that David Villa did for Valencia, who are a weak team, but there's a big gap in the sense of the competitiveness of La Liga from Valencia's position and the competitiveness of Bayern Munich and the Bundesliga in his position. And also, if you want to make it strictly international, Germany have been a great team since 2010. Spain have been a great team since 2008. What I will say is this. let's take that 2010 World Cup where he made his name, Thomas Müller, where David Villa also started to obviously break through on an international level. Go back to those games and see the space that Germany were afforded in terms of creating chances, and then go see the kind of defenses that Spain had to play.
No, you're saying
no.
defenses Spain had to play, but it's the style of Spain's football.
But regardless, like if you just look at the pitch, it's hard to score goals when you have a lack of time and a lack of space.
Is that not true? Do you not think
it
that's
is?
fair?
But if you look at the goals that he scored, I think one of them was against Chile, where he was outside the ball. I don't know where the keeper went, and there's some mad thing. And the space.
Okay.
I'm saying
but even if you say it like that, can you name me a goal that Muller's scored, even in that kind of nature? Because the thing about Müller is a lot of it is, and again, positioning. His positioning is one of the best in the world. But they're literally 7-8 yard finishes and the lack of pressure.
A lot of scrappy.
So think about the quality. Think about the quality of David Villa's goals. The fact that he's also been playing from a wider position for Spain. And the fact that even if he was playing up front for Valencia, he was playing for Valencia.
But what I would say is that for Spain, the way that Spain dominated from 2008 to 2012 when they won the Euros in 2012, obviously you have to put David Villa in the reason why they dominated, yes. But even when he wasn't there, they were still dominating. They beat Germany 2008 final. Torres scored the winner.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, in 2010, they were playing a lot of times without a normal striker. They were 2012 World Cup, 2012 Euros. They weren't playing. We were playing without a striker. Spain were dominating and scoring goals with or without David Villa.
But when you say scoring goals, is a difference between dominating possession and creating chances.
2012.
You can the only game where they just absolutely battered a team was Italy in the final, and even then, Italy were 2-man down.
2008 Euros, they scored. David Villa scored a lot of goals in the group stages. I think he got injured obviously before he got to the final. They scored. It was only in 2010,
and even in 2008, like that was before teams defended very differently. From 2010 onwards, that's when it was just.
Guys, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it time there on the second one. Let's pull up the stats again. We're gonna talk about goals. Müller has more international goals. World Cup and Euros. He's got 10. David Villa has 9. And as you said, he has the chance to overtake him. However, Thomas Müller has less effective minutes to goal ratio. He's 115, whereas David Villa is at 100. Müller has what, 10 shots off target. David Villa has 13. That's a pretty bloody weird stat. And the shooting accuracy is worse as well. I'm sorry, but we can't give it to anybody else but David Villa.
And even just the nature of his goals,
and that's what I'm putting it down to.
No, I would agree in terms of the nature of his goals. Like his he
could create his own goals in a way that Müller can't.
But a goal is a goal.
It is, but what's the one that takes your breath away? The one that hits the top corner just out of the reach of the goalkeeper, rather than one where you're battling like 3 man just to toe poke it over the line. Come on, we have to give it to David Villa on goal scoring. I'm sorry. Let's talk about set pieces. Who's the best at set pieces? We'll make this one quick. We will make this one quick.
I haven't even seen Müller taking free kicks. So.
Exactly. Listen,
because he doesn't take it.
I'm not going to debate that. I'm not debating that. David Villa's got the tech.
All I was saying, I remember I was watching, I think it was 2008 or 9. I went to the Emirates Cup at the Emirates, obviously. And I saw David Villa playing for Valencia at the time, and he took a free kick. I have never seen a man take a more crisp free kick with my 2 eyes than that. It was beautiful. It went bottom corner, and he came over, he celebrated, and I just thought, what a man. If I could
I tell you, I know who I want in the box for the set pieces though.
What? Who? What?
Thomas Müller, would they?
What?
Put
To
that
just
in.
You're shameless.
Back post.
That is a shameless remark.
All right.
Oh my god.
Back post.
All right. So
2-1.
We are what? We're 3 topics in. We've got 3 left, and right now David Villa is winning. He on set pieces and goals. Müller is winning on skills, which can't, in hindsight,
He's looking a bit fugazi.
just a little bit.
To say Müller is a more skillful player than David Villa,
but it's about how you define.
It's a crime against humanity. That's terrible.
It's about how you define skills.
You're right. It is. But moving on.
You're talking about Rabonas and step over
skills. Listen,
I'm talking about what you do on that pitch.
Even me, I can be man enough to say I can even misinterpret that topic. But if we're talking about just
skill.
But we saw the dribble stats.
No, all against him. Forget dribble.
Guys, hold on. We need to go to some videos because time is escaping us. But we're going to go to a couple of videos.
It's a hot dog.
Make sure you guys, again, call in 0203-606-0315.
I'm even annoyed I gave you that first round.
And well,
that should just be a 3-0 whitewash.
See what
pad should have been passed on.
Hold on.
God damn.
Absolutely very difficult, very hard to choose between the two. But based on World Cup achievements or individual, accolades, I'm going to go with Thomas Müller just. Reason being, he's won the Golden Boot at the World Cup. Don't believe David Villa has done that. Yes, he has scored and been prolific for Spain as well as obviously Barcelona in his prime. But I just think Thomas Müller with his first World Cup in 2010, he was absolutely sensational then. He was brilliant in 2014 when Germany won it. He's won, like I said, the Golden Boot. I think he's won the Silver Boot after that as well. And he's just got a knack for me, Müller, of like just being in the right place at the right time. And some people may look at that as luck, but you can't consistently be in the right place at the right time. That's skill, and that's know-how, and that's positioning, and that's knowing where to be and when to be there. So for me, Thomas Müller shades it for me. It's very close. I think maybe at club level I would have gone with Villa, but if we're looking at international level, obviously they've both achieved the absolute top honours that you can achieve as an international footballer, but I think that Müller just shades it for me, just on that consistency. And like I said, he's got like a world, like a Golden Boot behind him, and I think that's massive at things like World Cups as well. So to go and do that, I think is absolutely fantastic. So it's close, but I'm going to go with Thomas Müller.
Two completely different players, two completely different styles of play. Obviously, with Müller, you got the the German strength, the power, the precision, and with Villa, you got the Spanish technical flair. Both world champions, both superstar players. In this instance, they're just so different. But if you take them one-on-one, I would say David Villa is the better technical player, just because Müller seems to feed off of other players through the German national team or through Bayern Munich. He's always seemingly in the right place, that kind of fox-in-the-box player, but he's also not the guy that, like David Villa, can dribble through an entire team. And he's also not the free-kick tactician that Villa is. So my vote would be David Villa.
Yeah, look, there's no competition. I think David Villa dominates in all aspects. 108 goals for Valencia. He is just out of this world. I think Thomas Müller's great, don't get me wrong. Bayern Munich star, he is amazing. He's been there for quite a while, but still, for me, it's David Villa.
For me, there's only one winner. Thomas Müller has scored 10 goals in only 2 World Cups. He's not far behind the top goal scorer in the history of the World Cup. So, as much as I love David Villa and I thought he's a great player, I have to go with Thomas Müller. His record speaks for itself.
Villa was the better player. He was more gifted, more talented, definitely a much more prolific goal scorer. And there's something about Müller. He doesn't even look like a footballer. That's not crazy with Müller. He looks like a tennis player or something. But the boy's got techers. When it comes to playing for your country, they both did spectacularly well. Müller's been involved in the national team longer than Villa probably was. Don't quote me on that, but it just feels like it. And I'd probably say, with Müller having as many goals as he does in international tournaments, you kind of have to slightly give him that edge. It's a difficult one though, because Villa is definitely the better player, but if we're talking international football, you maybe just have to give it to Müller.
Oh, Thomas Müller, come on, man. Yeah,
what's that?
Yeah. He's got better movement in the box. Yeah. So he's more...
David Villa was clinical though. And when he gets there, he's scoring.
Yeah,
in that Barcelona team...
Nah, I'd definitely take Müller, 100%. Yeah. Better movement, and he's a World Cup winner, pedigree. Yeah, definitely Thomas Müller, 100%. Yeah.
Müller was fantastic, but I think overall I'm going to have to say that Villa just tops it for me, purely because I think he was more entertaining to watch. Yeah, he added that bit of pace. He had that pace in his game where he could beat a man, and he created something out of nothing. He wasn't just one-dimensional. He had a lot to his game, and yeah, David Villa gets my vote. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to everybody that contributed there. We had a very broad range of views, and I'm surprised because a lot of people, everyone I spoke to about the topic before, said that David Villa was the best. So I'm surprised to hear that a lot of people.
It's not clear cut. It's not.
Apparently, it's not.
And it's shown today so far, isn't it?
But all of that is apparently about to change because someone said they got something to flip the script. So the next topic is team player.
Okay.
Take it away.
So people think because Müller maybe runs hard, you know, tries hard, shouts a lot, that he's a bigger team player. He has that image because he can't do more than that. He can't be the individual. It's almost like saying, listen, you can't be a virtuous person if you're not capable of harm. If you're not capable of doing something, if you're not capable of being bad, you can't really be good.
God damn.
This is the difference between David Villa and Thomas Müller when it comes to being a team player. When he moved to Barcelona, he went from being the absolute main man and being a world-class main man to going to the left and playing for the team. And even, because you could say, okay, well, it's Messi, he has no choice. He did it for Spain. He did it for Spain too. So, what is the bigger element of sacrifice? Someone who is capable of maybe giving you 70% and gives you that full 70%, or someone who's capable of giving you 90% and then reduces his usage of the ball for the team.
Thank you.
If you're saying that David Villa is more generous because he was willing to go out to the left when he could have been up front as a world-class striker, fair enough. But for me, team player is about how you supplement your teammates on the pitch. Do you know how much assists David Villa got in his first season for Real Zaragoza?
How many?
0. Do you know how much he got in his first assists he got in his first season for Valencia?
How many?
0. Whoa. Do you know how much he got in his first season for Barcelona?
How many?
5. Thomas Müller
gone.
Contributes as a whole.
1.5
a contribution every 1.5 games at international and at club level. He's got over 100 assists for Bayern Munich alone. I think he's in about the 20s.
100?
Oh, over 100. Over 100. I think about 120. And he's got about 20 or so for Germany. In the 2000 and... I think it was the 10 World Cup. It could have been the 14. I can't remember. But he was the highest assister with who people call the assist king. He got the most. Or the joint most.
So,
One second. This season, he was also the leading assister in the Bundesliga. Thomas Müller not only scores goals, but he plays in different positions. He's played under so many different managers at Bayern Munich, from Louis van Gaal to Pep Guardiola to Jupp Heynckes and whoever's going to come next, a Frankfurt manager, I can't remember his name. He's played under all of them. He's played on the right wing. He's played on behind the striker. He's played up front. So you're talking about sacrificing and playing where your manager wants, depending on what the situation. Thomas Müller has done it, and he has the assist, giving the final pass to your teammate to score the goal much more than David Villa.
Your retort quickly. One short retort before we look at some stats.
So what? Given assist, playing for Bayern Munich, the dominant team in the league for 9 years straight, and for the top international side, like, you don't think that's going to boost your numbers? Do you feel like giving assist is the only indicator of being a team player?
No, but I also said he played in 3 different positions.
Because quickly, because guys, we need to
ring off the numbers.
Right. So Thomas Müller has 6 assists to David Villa's 1. He's created more chances, Thomas Müller.
Of course.
He's made more passes.
Of course.
He has a higher pass accuracy.
You're telling me things I already know.
I think that's he's won more crosses and more corners. He has a better corner and cross accuracy too. To me, this suggests a great team player.
Of course.
We all know that he tracks back. We all know that he tries hard. I'm going to give this one to Thomas.
Look at that goal he scored against England in the 4-1 battering in the 2010 World Cup, where he went from one end of the pitch to the other, the back post. That is Thomas Müller in a nutshell.
I think that epitomizes him. So, callers, please, 0203 606 0315. We want to hear what you have to say. It's neck and neck. It's 2-2 right now. We've got 2 topics left to go. Big moments and the legend. This is going to go down to the wire. Is David Villa the best player, or is Thomas Müller the best player? Big moments. Take it. Whoever wants to go first. I'm actually intrigued. I love this.
Chile? What's it? Chile 2010 World Cup versus top bids Manchester United. 2011 Wembley. Countless moments for Valencia as the main man, 4th best team in the league. Like, he carried the team. He carried the team.
You say
those are big moments.
If 4th best team in the league, but under Benitez they won it back to back. No, but was it back to back or two times in 3 years?
Was he part of that team?
What year was that again? I'm trying to think. 2000 and... Was it,
when he won it because he was at Zaragoza.
But what I was saying, so they went down a level after Villa was there.
Or maybe Benitez left.
I'm just saying.
I'm
dude, just saying.
Dude, at this point, I'm respecting you as someone who I can debate with. And what I'm saying to you is that he's carried a team
to where?
To Champions League level. That team was overachieving. You're talking about Valencia that's been in financial crisis for almost 10 years.
All right, big moments.
You cannot name me a singular big Thomas Müller moment.
He's drawn you out. Do it.
I'm not gonna lie. The biggest one that comes to my mind is the Champions League final 2012. After Bayern Munich were pressing all game, and then scored in the 80th minute. Obviously, Chelsea went on to win it again, but that was a massive moment.
All right,
2011 Manchester United.
Hold on. Let's talk internationally. You said Chile.
Chile World Cup.
And do you still say that there's not one big moment that he has for...
He's been like Müller scoring a goal in a massive battering of Germany where Cruz was a better player.
Brazil.
Where Cruz was the best player on the pitch.
The one in Brazil game.
Yeah. Do you have a big moment for Müller internationally?
For me, the biggest moment for Müller, I would say, is the England 4-1.
And even then, that was Ozil. It's Ozil.
I'm sorry, I have to give it to David Villa. Big moments. Everyone remembers that goal against Chile, and if you don't know it and you're too young and you weren't alive, or maybe, well, how old did that make you? Like 8? Yeah. If you weren't alive, if you weren't about, I suggest you go and watch it because it's a fantastic goal. Thomas Müller, he's great, he's good. He scored against England, and then he said hello to his grandma afterwards. But realistically, big moments, we have to give it to David Villa. It's a big one here. You've got to win this. Legend. We're talking about legend. Who has the bigger legend?
I'm gonna go first.
Go on.
For me, that's not even a debate. David Villa isn't. He's not a Spain legend. He's not. In no way that he's a Spain legend.
I mean,
That's
he is,
no.
He is Spain top goal scorer.
No, but who's a bigger legend? Raul or him? Who's a bigger legend? Him or Fernando Torres?
Wow.
No, this who's a better player. I didn't say who's a better player. I didn't say who's a better player.
Who has the bigger legend? Be realistic. Out of David
Who
Villa,
scored the winning goal
Torres?
to win the cup?
Yo, listen. I don't know which camera I'm speaking to right now.
Look at both.
I need anyone with any kind of Spanish ancestry, anyone with any links to Spain, Spanish passport, whatever, to call in right now. Pick up the phone, baby. Call in right now and correct this man for saying that Fernando Torres is a bigger legend in Spain.
I asked the question. I asked the question.
The question
the point I'm making is that the fact that David Villa has to get involved in that debate, and then you got players Iniesta, Xavi, those players when they won the 2010, 2012, and obviously 2008. Those players were the icons of those teams. Iniesta scoring the World Cup winning goal. That was the.
But now,
Thomas Müller,
tell me why Thomas Müller is a bigger legend.
Which is, we're gonna go back to what I stated very early in the piece.
Okay.
10 goals.
Yep.
In 2 tournaments.
Okay.
He's already got a best player, young player award. He's got a silver ball for the second best player in the tournament. He's also ranked 5th and 6th in the Ballon d'Or, world's greatest players, among other places, 15th, 12th, 17th, whatever. But he's ranked 5th and 6th. This year, he could break the record. But as far as so far in the World Cup history, there's only 2 German players above him, Miroslav Klose and Gerd Müller. For Germany, and especially in terms of the current team, there is no bigger legend in German football right now than Thomas Müller.
Okay, so that's German football. That's fine. Let's talk about football across, like, all over the world, internationally purely. You're talking about a guy that not only was influential in winning 1 international tournament before that World Cup in 2010. He was also like the top scorer for them in 2008. It was also the main forward that took him to, or helped take him to, the World Cup title 2 years later. You're talking about a guy who's also the top scorer. You're talking about a guy that dethroned Raul. Raul still. I'm not going to say
legend, but who's the legend?
Hold on. You named a lot of German players to juxtapose Müller against. I'm going to do the same thing for David Villa. Okay. You forget that Raul didn't stop playing football when he left that Spain, the Spain setup. David Villa and in part Fernando Torres forced him out. And They did. They forced him out. No, it was Fernando Torres was not the starting striker for Spain going into 2008.
Come on.
When you're talking about legends, you're talking about a guy that not only was a legend for his international side, but David Villa ultimately will be respected more as an individual player across all nations and across all tournaments than Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller is a great part. He's a great cog of a great team. David Villa, David Villa is seen as a talisman.
How can a man who scored
David Villa is
5 goals in 2... do you know how many people have done that in 2 tournaments?
How many?
3. Closer. I can't remember the other ones. Closer another one. And it ain't David Villa.
Do you think,
I tell you that for a fact.
Just because you scored the most goals, it doesn't make you the guy.
No, but you're saying he's a cog. But you're saying he's a cog. He's not a cog.
He's a cog.
So you're telling me another member in that team...
Thomas Müller is not leading Germany to titles. He's not leading Germany to titles.
How can you say that? How can you say he's not leading? Why? Because Gertz has scored the
Ronaldo R9 is a type of forward that not only scores the goals there, but he led his team.
But how can you tell me scoring 5 goals at an international tournament consecutively?
Because I think we're able to tell between great goal scorers that can be goal scorers independent of the team setup. David Villa has proven he can do that.
But Thomas Müller, I told you he's played under how many managers at Bayern Munich?
Yep.
At Bayern Munich.
No, but it's different. Louis van Gaal's style is not the same as Pep Guardiola.
Hold on. I would like to let you know that one of those seasons at Bayern Munich, we're not supposed to be talking about club football, but one of those seasons he only scored 4 goals.
Yeah, and even 5 goals. Okay, so did David Villa scored 5 goals in the second season at Barcelona.
He was injured from most of that season.
But you're saying he scored 4, he scored 5. If we're gonna go through all the career,
do goals per game. That's how you do it accurately, because we can do volume, we can do totals. That's fine.
If you check that second season at Barcelona, it was not.
How many appearances?
I can't remember the exact number.
That's what you need to remember.
No, it wasn't a good start. It wasn't a good season. It was not a good season.
I'm not saying it's a good season. If you spend most of it
Thomas
injured,
Müller,
how is he supposed to score goals?
He scored 4 in 1 season, but he also scored 32. I think it was in 2 seasons later. So. And that's from the right where that's when Lewandowski was banging in goals as well. So it's like he can do what he needs to do wherever he's placed on the pitch.
All right. So we haven't really got anything else that backs this up, but we're gonna look at the titles that they've won. Right? They've each won a World Cup. They've each won a World Cup Golden Boot. David Villa has one European Championship, which I suppose is not Müller's fault.
Well, Müller he didn't play for Germany when he was
he didn't play for Germany.
Like you're talking about, like he wasn't in the 2012 squad.
But Müller has more league titles. But
he plays for Bayern Munich.
But that's because he plays for Bayern Munich.
And how many has David Villa got?
He's got 3.
And he played. Hold on.
But one of those is with Atletico Madrid.
2 for Barcelona.
And I think that Atletico Madrid.
And again, let's use a bit of common sense. If a player, and again,
I don't even common sense. I just asked a question.
Okay.
I just asked a question. I wanted 3.
Okay, so if we ask a question,
please go on.
Like we also have to apply context. Is that fair? Is that reasonable? No.
It is.
Now I'm asking you a question. Okay. So if you're playing for the dominant side, where there's literally over the course of 9 years. There has been no team.
But there's a reason. There's a reason why he played for Valencia for so long.
Hold on, guys.
Where you can literally name from back to front, like a bare minimum of 10 out those starting 11 players are going to be top class players. Manuel Neuer, Philip Lahm, Jerome Boateng, Hummels. Yeah, but like we're talking about titles. You're talking about club titles, right? He's bringing up Hanks and Van Gaal and Pep and all them, man. So if I'm
why was Villa at Valencia so long? If he was this legend. Why was he at Valencia so long? Why did it wait till 2010 when he was what 29?
Number one. Real Madrid and Barcelona were chasing him for years prior. He didn't want to go.
So you saying he bottled it? So he did.
Oh,
Stop.
Stop.
Total was at the highest level.
Stop.
For his whole career.
By that,
Champions League every single year, performing at every on every stage.
All right.
Pressure.
All right.
Villa did not have that pressure at Valencia.
I'm gonna give the legend to David Villa.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I'm gonna give the legend.
I told you that coin at the beginning was it was dodgy, and this is dodgy here,
and that means
legend.
That means
legend.
That Chris and David Villa has won 4 categories.
For what?
Because
Torres did it better.
4-2, yeah. 4-2.
Torres did it better.
I'm sorry, David Villa. Yo, I'm sorry that this guy. I feel like I let you down, but letting this guy even speak.
No,
I don't believe he bottled it.
I know. You know the worst part about this. In a couple of weeks, when Thomas Müller breaks the World Cup, I'm gonna call you up.
Guys, thank you very much. We're gonna look at some Twitter comments.
Yeah, let's go to the people. What's the people saying?
Twitter poll, sorry. Twitter poll.
What's the people saying?
What are the people saying? Let's have a look. A quick, cheeky look. It's only 31 votes. No, it's got to be more than that. It is. The people are saying Thomas Müller.
I'm not surprised.
People are saying Thomas Müller. And he's winning by 61 votes to 39 or 61%.
That's
53%. It's just gone down to 47. So I mean, Müller's winning. The people think that Müller is a better player.
It's good for them. I expect him to say that. People look at things. People look at things like titles. Yeah, he won more titles. Well, yeah, he's at Bayern Munich, where like they're finishing 20. Like you're winning. You're playing in the league where your league title is done in March.
Why did he not leave? He did what the likes of Alan Shearer did. Let me stay with one club. No, go to the highest level and prove yourself.
Is he lying?
He went to the highest level, and his record did not match up to what he did at Valencia. Why? Because the pressure of playing for Barcelona, where every game you need to win.
Or he was injured.
Wow.
For 3 years.
Wow.
He was in and out of the team for 2 years.
Guys.
And then he went to Atletico Madrid. And he was starting for a team that did one of the biggest upsets in Spanish football.
It's been great. It's been great. Thank you very much for debating. We've left it there.
But we won that. That's what we do, baby.
Exactly.
That's what we do, baby.
If you agree, let us know. If you disagree, let us know. Get in the comments. Is David Villa better than Müller? Is Müller better than David Villa? This has been a very, very passionate debate, and I love it. I love it. And this guy is happy he's won. He's happy he's won.
I'm gonna enjoy this weekend. I can't lie to you.
Woo! Don't forget to subscribe to all of the various platforms that this has been streamed on. Make sure you subscribe to UFF. Make sure you follow UFF on the Twitter page. Make sure you download the UFF app as well. People are buzzing me in my ear telling me to make sure you get that app because that's very important. And there's lots of different football content on there. This guy's there. I'm there. Everybody's there. Guys, you're there.
Peace. I'm definitely there.
Make sure you subscribe and like the Fifth Official on YouTube and at TFO Show on Twitter. It's been a great show. I hope you've enjoyed it because I certainly have. David Villa is better than Thomas Müller. I'm getting out of here. Woo!